I just played through Mirror's Edge, and it is not to be confused with what your girlfriend did to me last night. Let's go for a run and see how it works. You know what to do if you enjoy this video. The game begins with narration. The city that our protagonist is in was once fun, then the people accepted mass surveillance. Therefore, anyone who doesn't want to be in the system needs a runner. That's where she comes in. It's time for some very simple training. This is intuitive because I'm able to relearn all of the needed moves with no serious fuss. I have to run, cross a pipe, and swing my way around the map. Wall runs are fun too, that might keep happening. Unfortunately, I also need to worry about combat with Celeste. It's somewhat difficult to disarm potential enemies without using slow motion. Avoidance is probably for the best. Okay, that's done. My first objective is to get it back to Celeste. Simple enough. Traversing the rooftops is fun, so I need to check my jumps. That's better. I climb the pipes and move into a freshly painted hall. Thankfully, that isn't blood, so I can move on. This door isn't red, so the vent. I have to drop down, though.
Drop the bag and put your hands where we can see them.
Gotta run. I bomb the stairs to the roof, push up to a tall point, and drat. Note to self, don't veer off to the side. I climb a ladder and hand the bag off. Suddenly I come under fire, so I have to hitch a ride on a helicopter and drop myself off. Easy peasy. Faith's sister Kate is dealing with something. All of a sudden, the police seem to be closing in. I have to rush off to RPNA Tower. Let's bolt all the way over there and oh, that's a lot of green. The city is dealing with avian flu? I depart the elevator and here's where the real story picks up. Kate is a cop who is being framed for the murder of Robert Pope.
Don't you read the news? It's not news anymore. It's advertising.
That's good commentary. I can't get involved, yet I can. Makes sense, right? I take a piece of paper, dispense a hug, and run from the intruding cops. There's where I need to be. I take the vents to another passage which leads to the side of a building. Well, here goes nothing. I have to evade heavy fire as I push forward. It's not that difficult. The controls aren't perfect. I take an elevator just as the door is riddled with bullets. From there, it's easy to descend to the street and eventually the subway. Out of the way! Taking the train isn't a good option, so I have to slide and crash into the food court. Well, at least another runner is here to help. Let's get out of here. Celeste joins me at Merc's HQ. These two don't know anything about Icarus, but some guy named Jackknife might. Let's go get him. It's easy to get over a fence. Evading a sniper team? Not so much. Still, I make it indoors, hop up some pipes, and take a vent to a storm drain. There aren't that many places to go down here. Then again, that makes it fairly easy to get to the bottom, open a gate, and move forward. It's time to head up once more. The police try to block me with a sniper team. However, I take a zipline to the other side and open the way to a difficult set piece. Jumping across a chasm via a water slide shouldn't be that hard, so I pull it off on my first try, second try, third try. This isn't doing it. What about the sides? Wow, that worked? Well, time to get back to the surface. Although I have to confront a few cops, evasive maneuvers work well as I push indoors once more. One elevator ride later, I meet Jackknife. A chase is forced because why not, and my quarry tries to loose me in another elevator. There is a second one that brings me right to him, but he falls to his death and that's the end of the game. Nah, I have to bound my way down to his miraculous recovery. I guess the fall wasn't that big of a deal. Oh, what a coincidence, the guy I actually need to go after has a sign right in front of us. But first, I have to meet up with Kate's boss. He seems pretty reasonable. If you don't count the gun, obviously.
Kate's the only family I have, Lieutenant. And blues in jail don't last long. She goes down for this, it's a death sentence.
There is an uneasy alliance here. That's something. Time to go after Ropeburn. I wall run into a wall, climb into a reversal, and bounce up a cardboard box because that makes sense, right? After even more running, I find my way into the vents where the main plot twist is given away.
Come on! That
Project Icarus is targeting the runners. Keep that in mind for later. The police know that I'm here. Time to run up the building and across the catwalk to an elevator that doesn't work. No problem. I'll just slide down and move out again until I... Oh, wonderful. The problem here is that I actually have to fight the Blues. Otherwise, they'll just shoot me as I climb up the pipe. Once I do that, I get shot at by a chopper as I try to climb the scaffolding. It's difficult to check where to go, but that's why there's a hint system in place. Time to make an escape and get a gun shoved in my face. Again. That doesn't work out very well for Miller, so I just walk away. I have to avoid private police now too, that might be a problem. Getting electrocuted by a fence sucks. When in doubt, head upward. Wait, there's nothing over here. When in doubt, slide downward. It's through the vents and across incomplete rooms to a ladder. I find another one after sliding past some pipes and... There's a wheel around here, isn't there? Ah, there it is. Miller is meeting with the target. Great. I let the lieutenant leave, but Ropeburn somehow knows that I'm here. Therefore, I get a quick time event... Somehow, Ropeburn hangs on long enough to tell me that his hireling will be at the mall, and then a sniper shoots him. Time for another fight and chase, I guess. I have to hop across the subway platform and... There goes the movie escape idea. It's not that hard to push across the catwalks, but then I run into an out of order sign. The office above has a button for that problem. Some ventilation fans are in my way. There's another button, so I wall run, smash it, and... Faster and more intense. Got it. I make it through the fans and jump on a train. It isn't horribly difficult to dodge the signs and bars. What about an oncoming train, though? No trouble at all. Time for drinks with Celeste.
Shit, Faith. Why are you doing this? It's not your fight. Just, I don't know, lay low.
I am a robot. Also, shouldn't Celeste already know Faith's backstory? Time to go to the mall. Mayor Callahan is supposedly campaigning around here. Does it matter all that much? Nope. I climb up to the train tracks and take a zip line to a special red area. An elevator brings me to the rooftops once again, and I beat back the Blues on my second try. Another elevator is out. I guess it's piping time. Where do I go from here? Oh, there it is. Time to wall run with the AC units. They can't support my body weight, right? More piping, more dying, more everything. I avoid my enemies on the second try, and who is that guy? I'm sure we'll find out, but first I have to jump over some barbed wire. There's the mall. That means that I have to vent my way forward. The target is right in front of me. I'm sure that there are no ambushes around the corner, right?
Wild, get at it.
Damn it. When in doubt, move on up. Fans are my arch enemy, but I get the drop on some coppers soon after. Unfortunately, one of them has a machine gun. Yay. What I mean to say is that I beat him up with no redos required. Nope, none at all. Where to now? Oh, up there. This particular wall run is very tricky because it requires a perfectly centered jump. Therefore, I do it on my first try. Nah, I'm just kidding. There's the guy. Time to get him. Oh hey, Jackknife. Did he do it? Probably. Does it matter? Not really. Merc examines Pirandello Kruger because why not? For some reason, he figures that the office down by the docks is where I need to be. Why? Oh. There are 3 snipers blocking the path. I can't take them all down, but I can outmaneuver them. That was a close one. Moving through the warehouse is fairly easy until I come across a swing that's kind of tricky. Not to worry though, the second time's the charm. Okay, the package area. Where to from here? This way is blocked. There's a button inside that must be pressed, so let's get to it. Some swinging up above leads to a hole in the roof. That's my ticket in to smack that. The next few corridors are hard to navigate. It's nothing that a little wall running can't fix. There we are. I have to go down, not up. Whoops. Okay, let's see what's down here. A secret elevator leads me to the training facility for Project Icarus. It's designed to go after the runners. Wasn't that what they were doing anyway? Also, why does Celeste have classified details? Is she one of them? No time for that, gotta run! I climb my way up to a catwalk that leads to an elevator. The super police are in hot pursuit, so I make a run for it and get away on the top of a train. I have to get on a boat. How do I? Wait, there it is. I hop my way down to a truck and stow away, only to run into baddies who are armed to the teeth. Oh, wonderful. How in the world do I evade these clowns? There's a red pipe above a truck, so I, climb to the left. I slide down a ladder into a mandatory fight with no redos required. You didn't see anything. Once I dispense with my enemies, I open the door and faff about with more obstacles until I get to another one. It's nice to be back outside, but a sniper spoils the fun. There is plenty of cover though. I push up to one of those super cops and take an obvious woman to Hammer Town. My enemy makes her escape and I quickly follow. For some reason, she runs off the boat. Therefore, I'm able to take her down on my first try, second try, third try. What do you know, the white runner is actually Celeste. This was foreshadowed, so I'll give the game that. Doesn't matter though, I have to save Kate. It's time for more running, jumping, and elevatoring. I slide down a pipe outside and, more super cops with tasers. Great. Disarming the regulars is my only chance, so I do just that and make my escape. The controls seem a bit uncooperative. However, I move on to a long platforming puzzle. Some of the steps are incredibly tricky, but I push up to some vents at the top. After a bit of sneaking, I find an unfinished room. With a rifle. The shots don't land unless I target the prison van early on, which is silly. Still, I have to get down there and... Jumping down the center seems like the better choice, although it doesn't work for the cutscene. Wouldn't the cops pursue me outside as I'm rescuing Kate? Some of them do, but not the ones in the building. Merc's dead. Okay, I have to go to the shard and end this. More running. I have to cause an explosive gas leak to unlock a door. Wouldn't that blow me up too, even though I'm hiding over here? Oh yay, it's mandatory combat time! I'm almost overwhelmed by the sheer number of baddies, but I elevate her out of there before I fall. This chair should give me a spring up. Somehow.
May have been held by fugitive. More updates on the hour.
Good work. Check her.
I'm not sure how he's gonna get away with that one. No time to explain though, Kate is on the roof. I have more PKs to deal with, but not really. It's easier to call the elevator and circle all the way around the room. Of course, it can't be that simple. I have to scale down an elevator shaft, vent outside, and find a way back in. Some snipers are waiting for me over here, but I beat them up on my first try, second try, 10th try. It's easier to just take 2 of them on and dodge the rest. One elevator ride later, I have to take out some servers that are blocking access to the roof. While it is easy to just let the guards shoot the servers, that guy is levitating in midair. What was I talking about? Oh right, there is no good way to reach the last guard, so I might as well just take him out and get to the roof. Jackknife is another bad guy? Who knew? He takes Kate hostage and tries to fly away, but I kick him out of the chopper. On the way down, his bullets wreck everything, which forces us out. Luckily, I'm able to pull Kate up, and that's it. Mirror's Edge is a unique experiment that wound up influencing a lot of what followed after it. While the game isn't perfect by any means, it does its job very well and still looks surprisingly great. The only big roadblock is that the UI isn't optimized for modern systems. Therefore, you'll need a mod like Mirror's Edge Tweaks to actually play it. Let's consider the good and bad of the actual game though. For starters, the story is pretty decent and more original than most. Faith gets mixed up in an assassination plot, but she can't do much about it other than save her sister. It does enough to justify the game, even though some of the details are a little vague. With that said, there are two downsides to the effort. Very thoughtful players might be able to see the twists coming because of the foreshadowing and small cast. Also, some of the voice acting is pretty bad, particularly for Jackknife and Celeste. One aspect that I will never criticize is Solarfield's soundtrack. It just adds that little something extra to make the game feel cinematic. The real star of the show is the movement system. As mentioned in the beginning, the game gives the player everything and leaves the rest of it up to skill. Sure, there are some issues here and there with detection, key presses, and frustrating jumps, but they aren't deal breakers. Why? At its best, it feels exhilarating to hit a perfectly timed chain of moves. Few other games offer that kind of thrill. On top of that, the quiet segments offer a nice contrast to the pursuits. It's good to be able to stop and think about the best route before nailing it down, or making goofy mistakes. Unfortunately, the combat is bad. It is fairly easy to dodge most of the goons if you know what you're doing. However, some of the levels require a fight with the same 6 attacks. Why not just shoot the clowns and be done with it? Even so, I think that Mirror's Edge is the kind of game that everyone should play at least once. It's a cult classic for a reason. GG, I'll see you next time.